Welcome for Mission Super Hooligans here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, one of the 5 classes that are here for Superbikes at Road Atlanta. It is the first race of this race weekend. Roger Hayden, we've got a full field of Mission Super Hooligans bikes. We have already completed 2 qualifying sessions. You can see the field is set. The riders are ready.
It's going to be interesting to see as this race gets going. Who can run with the 2 Saddlemen guys? Jake Lewis and Cory West have both set pace all weekend, with Jake on pole position with the new outright track record. But practice and qualifying is one thing, but racing's another.
So you can see the riders out there at their grid position. You said, who can ride with them? Well, Cory Wyman is alongside on that front row, being able to qualify in 3rd. Those were good sessions for him, but now it's time to put it all into motion out on the racetrack.
And that's the thing, too, also getting a good start here. We've seen at Daytona a pack of 8 or 9 riders in that draft. I don't know if we're going to see that many riders here. I think you'll see Jake and Cory early on in this race try to break away, not race a lot, and try to make it a 2-horse race as this race winds down.
You mentioned back at Daytona, that was the first round of competition for Mission Super Hooligans. It's been several weeks since we had the bikes out on the racetrack. It was a long break for them, having not competed at Barber Motorsports Park. Some of the teams, you could tell, went back and they did some work. They did some homework to get themselves ready for the rest of the season, and some others still have a little bit of work to do. So take a look at the starting grid. Row number 1, our pole sitter Jake Lewis with Cory West and Cory Wyman alongside.
Hayden Schultz, Travis Wyman, and James Rispoli.
Down on row 3, it's Dominic Doyle, Jason Waters, and Hunter Dunham.
And then Andy DeBrino, Nate Kern, and Matthew Pataka.
Go back to row 5. You got Hawk Mazada, Racing Injured, Josh Baird, and Michael Haynow.
Then we got Corey Alexander, Andrew Way, and Cole King.
Row 7, AJ Peasley, Jeremy Taubman, and Steven Shakespeare.
And we got Andrew Berkeley, August Nord, and Jeff Lane.
Go back to row 9, Rodney Vest, Travis Carr, and Danny Dominguez.
And Brian Mullins, Charles McNally, and Aiden Mendoza.
Back in 31st, you got Leroy Eschleman, Sean Morris, and Anthony Sensata. Got Greg Reisner, Joseph Katzberg there down at the back, and then Mike Boyce and Jeffrey Flores rounding out our 13 rows. It's so many Super Hooligan riders here this weekend. We had to break it into 2 groups for practice and qualifying. And Roger, this is everyone's first taste of being out there together.
And it could come into lap traffic toward the end of this race, so it's going to be an interesting race to see how many riders can stay in that pack early on, and also if they come into lappers the last handful of laps.
Saw the 85 there, our pole sitter, Jake Lewis, pulling up into his grid position. Here comes his teammate with the number 1 plate, Cory West. Defense of that title. Cory said he is still hungry, he is motivated. Now it is time to go racing. The lights are up in the left-hand corner of your screen. This will be a 6-lap race. Lights are on. Hear the revs, and they're out. It is time to race at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Mission Super Hooligans, our pole sitter, Jake Lewis, getting a great start, but look at his teammate there, Cory West.
Yeah, but Jake's going to be able to roll around the outside of his teammate, Cory West. Also, Cory Wyman, great start from him from the front row as they head up into turn 2.
Six-lap race, Roger, with all of these bikes that are out there together. Early stages, it's all about staying calm, or do you have to be aggressive from the go?
I think you got to be aggressive from the get-go, because look at Jake Lewis right now. You can tell he's already got his head down, and he's going to try to make this break where they don't have a big pack of riders drafting back and forth, and his teammate also is trying to go with him.
See the 43, James Rispoli, is a great opening couple of corners for him. He started that back in 6th. I think he's up to, is he 3rd, 4th? Up into 4th right now.
This long back straightaway on the Super Hooligan bikes, it's really going to bring this pack pretty close together as they start breaking down at turn 10. You can see Cory Wyman was able to come back up through there. Cory West looks on the inside of his teammate, just not close enough.
Nobody's going to be picking up a few things sitting behind him for this opening lap. See him come down the hill. Get to this long front straightaway across the stripe. Lap 1 already in the books. Now just 5 laps to go. Cory West looking to get just a little bit closer. Travis Wyman, who started this race in 5th, you can see he's fallen down to 6th. Hayden Schultz was able to get stay up there as Dominic Doyle in 7th. Some big names taking part in Mission Super Hooligans here this season. Some of our experienced riders getting a taste of this category.
Jake Lewis is really good through that first sector where a lot of going back and forth, changing direction. You can see kind of a little bit of a gap that he's able to pull out on his teammate there. Not far enough out there to break that draft just yet.
No, at the stripe, though, it was less than 3/10 of a second separating Jake Lewis and Cory West, and you can see it's a bit more than that now as this lap continues. Cody Wyman able to stay in contention for that podium right there in 3rd, but James Rispoli is right behind him.
That draft just brought Cory right back up. Also, Wyman and James Rispoli. Now the top 4 kind of all starting to make a little bit of a break as Hayden Schultz is kind of falling off the back of this group a little bit.
But back behind him, you can see the gap to the rest of the field. Hayden staying right there with him, not wanting to let too much go now with 4 laps remaining. This group of the top 5, there they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming through turn 1. You can see the gap to 6th place of Travis Wyman. 5 of them together, but Roger, only 3 of them get to go to the podium.
And they're just so close in lap times. When you look over here, they're all within a 10th, all the way down to Hayden Schultz. Actually, James Rispoli with the fastest lap of the race, that last lap by.
1:29.9, that last lap for James Rispoli. Cory West, right behind his teammate Jake Lewis. Jake knew that, he looks over his shoulder, he knew he was going to have to get a great start to be able to stay ahead. It's so hard to pass here that if he didn't get that start and he didn't have the lead going into turn 1, he knew he was going to have to fight for it throughout the rest of the race to get himself back up there. But nobody's close enough to even look just yet.
Not yet, and even that last lap, he was a little bit further ahead in that first sector, was able to go 3/10 quicker than Cory West, so he's able to make a little bit more of a break that last lap.
Right, here comes the battle, 6th through 10th. You see the 170 there, Hunter Dunham.
Cory Alexander.
For Cory Alexander. The Arch Motorcycle, Arch Racing machine, they've had their own struggles over the course of this weekend. Teething problems with a brand new bike and a brand new organization. Certainly not the way they wanted race number 1 to unfold. Cory was able to stay up inside of the top 10, but go back to our leaders, our top 5. Red flag is now being shown from the start finish line. You can see that's a replay on the left-hand side. Hunter Dunham able to get through there with Cory Alexander having that issue, and a red flag now means that racing action will stop here for Mission Super Hooligan race number 1. Corner workers having to get to the bike of Cory Alexander to get it off of the racetrack. See the team starting, the riders starting to make their way to the teams down on pit lane.
The last lap, Jake Lewis had the fastest lap of the race, and you can see kind of put him out to about a half a second lead. When you're leading like that and you're in a really good rhythm the way Jake is, and you're setting a pace, you definitely do not want to see that red flag when things are going your way.
You know what's amazing about that fast lap from Jake Lewis? It was a 1:29.674 for Jake Lewis. That's better than what he qualified at, but you go down, the top 5 were all under the qualifying, the pole time that he set, also under the previous track record. So great run here for Jake Lewis. We're going to step away, take a break, let this get cleaned up, and we'll be back for the remainder of Mission Super Hooligans right after this.
Mission Super Hooligan National Championship coverage is brought to you by Mission Foods, the world's leading brand for tortillas and wraps. Roland Sands Design, built for the ride. Go to RolandSands.com. And by Harley-Davidson and the championship-winning Pan America.
Hey, what's up guys? John Montgomery from SNS Cycle here. I am the head of marketing at SNS Cycle, and we're here with MotoAmerica today. Very excited about the partnership. Main reason why is because we are fueled by racing, right? We are direct support for the Indian race team. We created a race exhaust system essentially for the street. It's called the Qualifier. What's great about the Qualifier exhaust system? Inspired by the race team, inspired by the race look itself, it doesn't just sound great, it performs great. It's offered in a stainless construction or Guardian Black. Clean, easy to install, great sound, great performance. For more information about SNS product and the Qualifier exhaust system, check out sscycle.com. Always follow SNS Cycle on our social media channels and look for our YouTube channel for techniques and tips.
All right, well, my name is Simon Martin. I am the Vice President of Sales with Counteract Balancing Beads, and we are a Canadian company based out of Ontario. We are the largest manufacturer of internal tire balancing products in the world today. So our main product is actually a little micro bead that actually goes inside the tire and balances out the whole wheel assembly on the fly. So your rim, your tire, your hub, brake drum, everything that's rotating at once needs to be balanced, and that's what our product does on the fly. You know, the ergonomics and the design of a motorcycle and the way that suspension works, which is simple, up and down, allows a product like ours to work very, very well. We're very happy and proud to be a partner of MotoAmerica. We look forward to continuing the partnership, and we're going to be at most of the events this year in 2024 in the fan zone, so certainly stop by and say hello. Come learn all about Counteract.
Excellence isn't a goal, it's our standard. Because we only run in select circles. The winner's circle. Every battle, every climb, every sacrifice leads to domination. The pride, the legacy. Carved in iron, sealed in victory.
Welcome back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, where we are under red flag in the Mission Super Hooligan race number 1. Reason being the rider right there on the screen, Corey Alexander, having an issue aboard his Arch Racing Arch motorcycle. You can see him grabbing his wrist there as he is out at the side of the racetrack now. Race control has declared that this will be a race that is shortened down to 5 laps. You can see the bike making its way down pit lane right now, so that cleanup is nearly complete. The racetrack nearly ready, and we know, Roger, it's going to be 5 laps in original grid position. Yeah, for James Rispoli there. Moved up a couple spots in the race. Now he's going to have to do that work all over, but Jake Lewis is going to have that starting spot on pole position there by his teammate, Cory West, and Cody Wyman are going to round out the front row. This track at Road Atlanta, these Hooligan bikes all the way from turn 2, it's amazing how fast they can get down into turn 5. Up over the hill into 6, 7. So important for them to get that run out of that corner there on that long back straightaway,
8 and 9, where you've seen the draft in the pack starting to bunch back up as they get hard on the brakes and down into turn 10. That's where we've seen Corey Alexander have his little incident. Up over the hill into 11, down into the last corner, turn 12. Really hard to make a pass into there, but it can be done.
We saw when we were just under green flag conditions, the first 3 laps. The start was everything for Jake Lewis. He was able to pull a gap on the rest of the field. We'll see if he can do the same when we get back underway. See the weather conditions right now, 77-degree track temperature. It's held pretty steady through the morning. Cloud cover overhead, certainly keeping it a little more comfortable. Humidity right around 75%. It's about where it's been as we keep looking at the radar, seeing if we're going to get the rain that's in the area or not. Right now, things remaining to stay dry. Let's take a look at race number 1. This was what just happened, Roger?
Yeah, right here, the very first start. We talked about Jake Lewis really good down into turn 1. His teammate there right behind him, Cory West. Looked like the Saddlemen guys were going to try to make a break early on, but you can see there Cody Wyman, Hayden Schultz, and also James Spoley stayed into that pack. But Corey Alexander down into turn 10 crashed. Luckily, he was able to walk off. He's holding his wrist, so hopefully there's nothing there. Hunter Dunham, great job by him to be able to avoid Corey.
And we saw him come through that shot, and it was pretty tight. You asked the question, wonder what happened to Corey Alexander. Was there something out on the racetrack? Did he lose it? That question will just have to be answered. It's been a rough weekend for Arch Racing as they continue to get their feet wet here in the MotoAmerica Championship, only their second race weekend as a team. Lots of family activities here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. The fan zone is a great place to be, but being alongside the racetrack, these kids getting a taste of motorcycle racing. Talent Cup, 14 years old, Roger. Could be the future right here.
They're keeping an eye on it. That could be the future there. And that's where it gets started for these kids. They start coming with their parents, and then they want to get the itch and start riding.
Oh, he spilled some of his Mission tortilla chips there.
Crashed and got right back up.
Are we going to pick them up? Oh, we're going to share them. Yes, there we go. Snack time here at the racetrack. I love it. All right. What's he going to do with the chips? Oh, he doesn't want to get rid of them. There we go. Feed them to the birds. That's what we would have done. Absolutely. It's great that the rain has held off, and all of these families that have come out here to watch MotoAmerica competition this weekend can have the opportunity to do that without needing to break out the umbrellas. It's a nice, cool day here. It's been hot the last couple of weeks in this area, so getting to enjoy just being outside right now. Reminder here, while we're down for a minute, that you can play MotoAmerica for cash. And Superbikes, Baggers, and the Super Sport categories all now live on the top sportsbook and DFS platforms. Just scan that flow code on your screen or visit nxtbets.com/playma to see what's available in your location, where you can sign up, claim exclusive bonuses, and make your picks now. They're all up currently, but they will be taken. Betting will close 30 minutes prior to the start of the individual race. So if you want to get some bets in on Super Sport, for example, you need to go ahead and do that in the next couple of minutes. All of the odds will be refreshed after today. Be a new set of odds as we get ready for race number 2 tomorrow afternoon. Lots of fun being had around the racetrack. There's a big cardboard cutout. Troy Herfoss, our Mission King of the Baggers champion from last season. He'll be out on the racetrack later this afternoon. I bet he's watching us on MotoAmerica Live Plus. See some bikes out on the racetrack now. So sighting lap underway. Riders will make their way out to their grid positions. We will get going again. A reminder, it'll be a 5-lap race. 1 lap being taken away. Original grid positions.
Some of the riders probably made a couple adjustments. You're allowed to work on the bikes during the red flags, so they might be able to make some improvements and have a little better second race. It's just like the first one didn't happen, so it matters now. It's important to get that really good start. Dominic Doyle, we've seen him at the front at Daytona on the Yamaha. Be really good to see him get a good start and go with those Harleys early on.
After the 3 laps that we had previously, the top 5 had really started to pull a gap on the rest of the field. Being back in 6th, 7th, 8th, Roger, now knowing what they know about the way that all the bikes are going to race together, how can they stay closer?
Just get a better start, be more aggressive, and that's tough going up in that tight chicane, but you cannot lose that draft because, you know, everybody's so close and paced. You're not going to be able to claw that back as the race goes on.
If you haven't watched a lot of MotoAmerica competition, wondering, Super Hooligans, these bikes look different. They don't have all the body work that we have in the other classes. The naked bikes, bar banging. A lot of the riders, you just see from the number of entries into this category and the manufacturer interest in coming out to the racetrack. All of the riders really love being out there in this style.
It's just come so far. Last time we was here in 2022, the lap record was a 33. We come here this weekend, we're in the 30s and the 29s.
Yeah, those times from the last 3 laps, those were pretty impressive. Mentioned the fact that the top 5 were all underneath that pole time, and all of them were under that previous track record that was set in qualifying. So we'll see what they can do now, knowing what the track conditions are like. So there's a little bit more in them.
Also, all the riders kind of put their cards on the table. They know what their competitors know what they're going to do. They already seen. They know, for example, Jake Lewis, everybody behind him knows he wants to try to break away. So I bet if they have the opportunity, they're going to take their shots early.
This will be the warm-up lap. Everyone will get one more look at it. Was that? That was Jake Lewis. There's Cory West. Did Cory West have a problem letting the rest of the field go through? He was slow to get going.
You know, sometimes on these bikes they can run a little bit hot, and your crew doesn't want you to get back to the grid really quick, because then you have to sit there and the engine temp could rise up, because that could be one thing. They want to be toward one of the last riders to get in their grid spot.
And Cory West and Jake Lewis, the 2 teammates that were first and second out on the grid, they are the 2 that are at the tail end of things right now. So I bet you are right, Roger. All right, Hayden Schultz qualified 4th. He had a good run this morning in the 2nd qualifying session, leading the rest of the field. Let's get another taste of racing here today. See if he can make any improvements. 5 laps though, that's not a long, that's not a lot of time. It's not a long race. It's, with all of the bikes out there, it's tricky.
It's going to be quick. That's why the first couple laps is going to be really important. That start, you know, we talk about it a lot this weekend, but even now with only 5 laps in this race, it is going to be important to get a good jump.
As a rider, Roger, you have the sighting lap and then you have the warm-up lap to get back to your grid position. What are you looking for around the racetrack?
Well, if I gotta just looking to see the accident, if it's cleaned up, but I'm also thinking about the previous start. Did I get a good start? If so, I'm gonna try to do that again. If I made a bad start, if I got pinched off in turn 1 on the bottom of the track, I might try to find my way toward the outside off the start.
Eight riders that were on the grid. We'll see who everyone else makes their way out there. Of course, Corey Alexander brought out the red flag. We saw him off the side of the racetrack, so he will not be out there for this 5-lap race number 1 here at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. You can hear the revs. There's the lights. As soon as they go out, we are racing. 5 laps for Mission Super Hooligan. It was another great start for our pole sitter, Jake Lewis, filing right alongside of him. There goes Cory West with the number 1 plate, but Jake able to get around the outside.
Yeah, Jake was just able to release the front brake and go around the outside. Now it's kind of what happened the very first start. We'll see if Cory can go with Jake early on. Another good start for James Rispoli. He's got himself already right there on that lead group.
Same thing that he did the last time around as well, and see if he can stay right there on the back of Cody Wyman, the number 34.
And Hayden Schultz is having an issue. You see him dropping through the pack there with his leg out. Not exactly sure what that was. It's James Rispoli makes a move down into turn 6.
Now James Rispoli up into contention for a podium, and Talked about it, you have to be aggressive. Only 5 laps in this race. That was the number 49. You were talking about Hayden Schultz. He fell back, not all the way back. It looked like he was back under power. And you can see the gap already that Jake Lewis is getting over Cory West, but as soon as they get into this draft, it's gonna get even tighter. And there goes Cody Wyman. Back around James Rispoli. James Rispoli on the number 43, the 34 belonging to, there's Cody Wyman.
These top 4 have made a break. You can look back and see they have over a second. It looks like maybe James Rispoli's having an issue. Second start, maybe the clutch is a little bit hot. You see him trying to make some adjustments there. I think it's a clutch issue.
It's got to be so challenging, Roger, having to work on that while you're at full speed and in contention, you know, trying to fight for a spot on the podium. And this is a fast racetrack.
Fast, and at that point, you're just trying to do what you can to collect as most amount of points as possible. Try to stay inside that top 15 and get a few points.
With that problem for James Rispoli, you can see the top 3 now, the gap back to the 4th position, which is now belonging to Travis Wyman. Dominic Doyle sitting in 5th, and James Rispoli continuing to fall back. Here's a look back at what he was doing as he came across the stripe.
Yeah, and it looks like maybe he's trying to adjust the clutch a little bit there. For him, I'm not real sure, but for James, that's unfortunate because he was right there in that podium battle.
He had a great run that first time out, and then able to duplicate that really solid start, make up some positions from the get-go, and not able to capitalize on it today. We'll see if he's able to stay in it and collect any points. Points awarded in all MotoAmerica categories to the top 15.
There's a little thing you can spin there also for the front brake. So something happened for James, and you can see him in the race. It's so hard to do, but trying to fix whether it was a brake or clutch on the fly.
See Cory West looking over his shoulder. You can see clear in front of him his teammate Jake Lewis from the pole, continuing to lead, and Cory trying to get closer and closer, looking to see what kind of pressure he has from behind, with Cody Wyman right there, 0.6 of a second separating the two of them at the stripe the last time by.
Jake is really strong through here. You can see how he flows through 3, 4, all the way down into turn 5. Cory's did a great job this lap, staying closer than he had the previous couple laps, trying to get in there where he can get that draft on the back straightaway.
Here's your battle for 4th. That's Dominic Doyle there aboard the number 25, right behind Travis Wyman. Had a much better start this time around, but back up front, still these 3, Jake Lewis, Cory West, the number 1 plate. 2 of them now pulling away from Cody Wyman.
You can see Jake just trying to tuck in as best as possible. You mentioned these bikes, they don't have windscreens for these guys to tuck behind. And we see James Rispoli pulling into the pits.
And unfortunately, doesn't look like he's going to be able to finish out this race. And team going to have to work. There is another race tomorrow afternoon, so he'll get another shot at racing action here at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. But today it's all about these 2 teammates. Number 85, Jake Lewis. His teammate, Cory West. 2 laps remaining. Cody Wyman not giving up quite yet, still not on the tail end of this battle any longer, but he's got a big gap back to 4th place of Travis Wyman.
And the 2 leaders, identical lap times just about, both of them at 29.5. So each one has their strong suits through here. It seems like Jake's a little bit stronger. They're pretty even in that second sector, and then the third part of the track seems like Cory's able to close down on Jake.
Nearly identical, you said it, but Cory West is going to say, but mine's just a little bit better. 29.55, 0.03 of a second separating the 2 teammates. The work that was done in the off season and back at Daytona in between races, keeping this program running strong. You know, Jake Lewis, when he watched his teammate, of course, the 2 are good friends, but they are competitors. And when he watched as Cory West won the championship last season and certainly celebrated that honor with him, as Cory West has now gotten around Jake Lewis. It was a good, clean pass. Respectable riding between the two of them. Coming down the hill. All right, going to the white flag. Cory West was able to get around Jake Lewis, but now this is the final lap of the race. Anything that's left in the tank, it's got to come out now, Roger.
Yeah, now it's Jake's. He's got to figure out a way by. Does he wait till the back straightaway and try to use that draft as Cory West did to him?
Cory set it up perfectly. Does he have just enough of a gap? Can he stay just far enough ahead that Jake can't get the toe? It looks like Jake is getting closer and closer. We'll see if he can hold on to it. This is the final lap of this race. Two of these riders just in a league of their own. You can't even see third place coming up over the hill quite yet.
Jake's in a good spot. Now he just has to focus on getting a run out of this turn 7, and Cory's going to do the same thing. He's probably going to move over to the right of the track, try to break that draft as much as possible. Now you've seen him start go left a little bit as they go, and it's just to try to break that the draft that Jake's in.
You can see the size difference between the two riders. Jake Lewis, one of the tallest riders in the paddock, and he looks around him. Can he make it stick as they come around this final sector of the racetrack? Jake Lewis back in control. As they come under the bridge, they're going to go down the hill. Is Cory West close enough? Can he get it done? Jake Lewis pulling ahead just a little bit, coming to the line. The race win is going to go to Jake Lewis. There on the final lap, a tremendous battle alongside of his teammate Cody Wyman will take home that final spot on the podium.
Cory West should maybe use that. He'll know going into tomorrow if he's got that same move, he's going to wait and pull that on the last lap. What a good race between both those guys.
That was a great race for the Saddlemen team. Nice clean riding. If you look at the gap. So the two of them, I mean, you saw how close they were. Cody Wyman finishing 4.5 seconds behind the two of them. Dominic Doyle, 11 seconds behind that lead battle. There is some work to do overnight for the rest of the competitors. But for Jake Lewis, you can see in his body language, you can just tell how excited he is.
It's 2 in a row for Jake. That's a little bit of a winning streak now.
And there aren't as many races in the Super Hooligans Championship. So every race, the points are really significant. You get 25 points for a race win. You get 20 points for second place and 16 points for a third place finish. And when you don't have as many races, that gap in points, they really add up.
And it's harder to claw points back if you lose some, like James Rispoli today lost a big chunk of points. Everybody's so competitive, it's going to be hard to make up a lot of points on Jake Lewis or Cory West because they're so strong. They're usually going to be in that podium battle.
Mission Super Hooligan National Championship coverage is brought to you by Mission Foods, the world's leading brand for tortillas and wraps. Roland Sands Design, built for the ride. Go to RolandSands.com. And by Harley-Davidson and the championship-winning Pan America.
We're back for the cool down lap here. Race number 1, Mission Super Hooligans. You see our race winner, Jake Lewis. Said it, Roger, a little bit of a winning streak.
And he better start recovering because he's got 2 more races to go today.
Oh, that's right. It's a triple header weekend for Jake Lewis. Also competing in the Motivation Super Sport category as well as Mission King of the Baggers. Take a look back at these highlights. Race 1.
Yeah, and Jake just taking advantage of that pole position, being on the outside into turn 1, able to release the brakes. But Cory West, Cody Wyman, James Rispoli, also really good starts for them. But you could tell early on it looked like Jake was trying to break away. The 5 riders just stayed really close there in the beginning of the race. Hayden Schultz also, and then Corey Alexander, an issue in turn 10, goes down. Brings out the red flag. Cory got up holding his hand, but it looked like he was going to be okay. Restart, same thing. Jake Lewis around the outside of his teammate Cory West. But this time Hayden Schultz runs into issues on the very first lap. James Rispoli makes a move on Cody Wyman early on. Seeing the 2 leaders starting to break away. Cody's able to fight right back. That draft became a key in this race. And then Rispoli went on to have some problems as well and wasn't able to finish. He actually DNF'd, so no points today for James Rispoli, and it came down to the teammates. This was headed to the white flag. Cory West able to make the move. Now Jake Lewis has to return the favor the very next lap. Out-braking duel into turn 10. Jake was able to hold on. Also, he didn't run wide. No mistakes from there, and able to win the race.
Great run by the two teammates. Now getting to go back and celebrate, but you said it, Jake Lewis has got to get himself ready. He has 2 more races this afternoon. Busy, busy weekend here at Michelin Raceway, Road Atlanta. All right, take a look at the results here. Full results, Cory West there at that second place finish. Cody Wyman able to hold on to third, and a good solid run for Dominic Doyle in fourth.
Yeah, and Travis Wyman. Andy DeBrino, glad to see him up there in the top 6. Hunter Dunham, Jason Waters, Hawk Mazzata riding injured this weekend, and Nate Kern on the BMW there inside the top 10.
That thing with Hawk Mazzata, he's able to continue his streak of finishing every Super Hooligan race so far the last 2 seasons inside of the top 10. So even with the injury, it's a good result for him. He was on the preview show earlier this weekend. If you haven't checked that out yet, it is still available on demand on MotoAmericaLivePlus.com. Let's hear from our winner. Let's get down to Joe Ankier.
Congratulations, Jake Lewis, your second win of 2025. You went off fast there, and then there was such a battle between you and Cory. Why was it the right strategy to go off like that?
I mean, I don't know if it was the right strategy or not. You know, I did try to split, and with 2 to go, I popped out of gear between 5 and 6 a couple times, and I looked back, and Cory was right there, and then he drafted me into 10, and I was like, I don't really know what to do, honestly, but I just sat behind him onto the long straightaway because that was my really only shot going down into 10. And I know we're teammates, but that was a hell of a battle. And going down into there, I was like, I'm either going to make this stick or end up in the gravel trap. And it was a little bit sketchy getting in there, but when I flicked it back right, I just held it real tight and tried to squirt out of there and then block into the last turn, and it just worked out perfect. So a big hats off to my whole Saddlemen race development team, especially my guys, Ricky, Maddie, Eric on the suspension, Wes at Harley-Davidson for tuning this bad boy for us, and just everyone else who supports me, Bell Helmets, Forest R Leathers, Mission Foods, Motul, Food Sport Boots, BS Battery. I mean, there's a whole big list of people behind us, but I'm glad to start the year going 2 for 3 on these Hooligan races.
Indeed, and as you mentioned, you are the same team, the same setup. How does it feel coming into that home straight, battling your teammate like that?
I mean, honestly, I knew it was just going to be us two because the pace in qualifying, him and I talked like we could split from the other guys, and after the red flag, I mean, I expected them to be there, but they were absolutely nowhere, which was surprising to me because right before the red flag, there was a big pack of 5 of us, so maybe it helped us and it worked in our advantage, but we got to regroup and try to win again tomorrow.
Excellent, congratulations. Let's take it over to the next member of the Saddlemen racing team, Cory West, sharing race wins with your teammate here. Almost had him, second place today. Are you satisfied with that?
Well, I'm never satisfied with second place, but, you know, we'll take the points. That was a good race. You know, me and Jake have been talking about this race for about a month now, and we had a pretty good strategy. The Saddlemen HD Pan Americas are hauling ass, so, yeah, we just do what we got to do. These things, you know, it's hard to put a foot wrong when you got a teammate right there on the same equipment. So maybe I was just a lap early on my move, but had to try something, and it looked like Jake was maybe going to outbreak himself into 10, but I tried to square him up for the run to the last turn and just had a problem getting it into gear. But, yeah, props to my whole crew, man. These guys work so hard. Fury, Taylor, all the boys, all my sponsors, Bell Helmets Mission, Motul, Drag Specialties, just everybody. Big shout out to my wife and kid back home. And, yeah, we'll try to do it again tomorrow.
Exciting stuff. Congratulations. It's going to be great watching those two battle this season. And another battle close to home came between the Wymans. Cody Wyman beating your brother Travis to the podium. How does it feel to be getting on the Bucks?
Yeah, great to get on the podium. Missed out at Daytona a couple times with some force, but man, I saw a 29 come up on my lap timer. I'm like, man, these Pan Americas are just so good. So big thanks KWR, Harley, CSU, One Cure, Cato Fastening. We got the Factory Fade boys out here, so appreciate them. But yeah, whole family to support us. man, I just missed that little bit from the red flag. And man, these boys were rolling. So big thanks to Saddlemen, has helped out us a lot too. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow.
Fantastic racing. Congratulations. And best of luck in race 2, our Super Hooligan Race 1 podium.
The Harley-Davidson lockout on the podium here in race number 1, getting ready for tomorrow afternoon. Roger, we talk about the gap that exists after these top 3. There's some work overnight.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys, that's a lot of time to find overnight as we see the points come up there. Cory West still in the lead there with 61 points. Jake Lewis 4 behind Travis and Cody Wyman, and James Rispoli running at the top 5.
Cory West was able to win the first race back at Daytona, and he's been up on the podium every time since, which is how he still maintains that points lead. One more race tomorrow. We'll see how that one unfolds.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we are going to step away and take a break here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. We'll be back with you in just a moment.